Hello, it's Chris Peace here from Peace Recruitment, and today we've got Stephen Slessor, Regional Director of Morrison's. Hi Stephen, how are you?
Chris, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Very well, thanks. Just holding up. And you?
Good stuff. Yeah, magical, thank you. Magical.
Good.
Living the COVID-19 paradise, Chris.
Exactly. Well, we'll cracking right on. I appreciate you'll be a busy man, no doubt, everybody. But obviously, I just want to ask a couple of quick questions and just get your thoughts on a few things. It should be no more than 5 or 10 minutes, but thanks again for your time. So just in general, summarising the current situation that we have at the moment, what specific challenges have you noticed in the industry, and how are you as an organisation planning on overcoming them?
Yeah, so there's a number of challenges at the moment specific to the industry in Scotland around remobilisation and making sure we meet the Scottish Government's requirements to get back to site safely. One of the big challenges is going to be about how we maintain and improve productivity, because we're going to be working in a socially distanced fashion, and that in itself brings its own challenges. In infrastructure, it's probably a little bit easier than building, because most of the work we do is in big outdoor spaces. Some of the things we're doing, we've changed some of our operating procedures, updated risk assessments and method statements. We've got some specialist occupational health advice to help us with planning our works and what kind of PPE we need. We've also looking at using some blockchain-based technology to help us monitor people movements. So the guys will get a little wristwatch style device that will set off an alarm if they're within a 2-metre social distance exclusion zone. And me being into digital transformation and modernisation, it's a great way for me to understand more about how our sites work productivity-wise and how we can improve that and offer a better service to our clients. I think some of the bigger challenges beyond the immediate remobilisation lie in pipeline and lack of continuity of work. I think we've had a space over the last 3 or 4 months where a lot of the clients and public sector bodies are not generating the amount of work that they would do in normal times. Projects that might have been affordable may no longer be affordable. There might be additional constraints, and so the big challenge is keeping the pipeline going and getting that long-term sustainable and getting us over the next 12 to 18 months, Chris.
Okay. So not fantastic news if the pipeline's going to fall off the side of a cliff, but I'm sure you guys have got plans to sort of overcome. And so if you do see a recovery, when do you see that happening? And what does the new normal look like for you guys and maybe in society as well?
Yeah. So I think for us, we've invested heavily over the last few years in frameworks and bigger programs of work. And we've got a few of them ongoing at the moment, which will see us through the darkest times. But I think generally in the marketplace, my expectation will be that the Scottish Government recognise that investment in infrastructure is a great way of generating benefits to the economy. My hope and expectation is that there's a lot of bad consequentials coming their way from the investment the UK government's making in the wider UK infrastructure, and so I would hope and expect that the Scottish Government will be supporting industry with a pipeline of work. I think the challenge for them will be how they get that out and how quickly they can get that out and the way of doing that. So, watch this space.
Good, okay. And then last sort of question was, I'm not sure whether you were a BBC 4 fan from back in the day. I'm showing my age a wee bit now. I think I was maybe with my dad with the Desert Island Discs. And so I decided to ask you these questions as instead of Desert Island Discs, we'd have COVID, the lockdown lists. And I thought I asked you to think in advance about during lockdown and COVID, what's been your recommended book that you would have somebody read if they're watching this? Your recommended Netflix or TV program, and one other random thing that you would have during lockdown. Keep it clean though.
Oh no, absolutely. That's what took a while for me to think about that, keeping it clean, because I ain't gonna lie to you. So book-wise, so I don't read an awful lot. I love books. I don't get the chance to read an awful lot because I'm on the road. I was in the new normal. Great thing is being at home a lot more and spend a lot more time at home. But I use Audible, the audiobook service from Amazon. So I'm quite into an author guy called Keith Pearson, who wrote a book called Who Sent Clement? and a couple of other stories, one called The 86 Fix. And it's almost like time travel back into the 80s using sort of Acorn Electron computers and BBC microcomputers. For people of my age, that will be just like, there'll be a lot of people relating to that. So that I found them entertaining, so I could recommend.
You're into your techie, so I'm not surprised about that. Yeah.
Television-wise, again, I wouldn't say I'm a massive TV man, but I've got a subscription to BritBox, and they've got like a lot of the classic BBC and ITV. So like the whole lockdown thing's brought back periods of nostalgia to my mind, of sort of like reminiscing for better times. And so they've got like Ashes to Ashes and Life on Mars, which are sort of two great sort of box sets that I think are really worth investing some time in. In terms of random recommendation, I thought really long and hard about this, and to be honest, I think the one thing that has been really interesting to see is the change in how people have adapted to change so quickly, and the use of digital tools such as Zoom, Teams, and a lot more use around social media. It's been quite interesting, and I get there's an organisation called Tigers which run apprentices, and I get a daily name tag on Twitter from COVID Connections, a whole series of mindfulness sort of pieces, which it's quite interesting to see, and it's nice to see people keeping connected, because I think that's been one of the big challenges. And I think from a personal perspective, it's been hard seeing a lot of colleagues furloughed, and the effect it's had on their health and well-being, and as a business we've tried to support them with that. I mean, we've gone way beyond the government minimum on furlough payments and paid them 80% of their salary, not 80% of the £2,500, which I think we're hoping to get that back in loyalty when we get out of this, which I know we will, because we're privileged to have a lot of long-serving colleagues working with us. And yeah, that's a commercial decision we've taken, but you know what? You've got to invest in your people, Chris.
That's really good. That's the first company that I've spoken to that said something like that. So fair play to you. I'm sure that you'll get the dividends back in effort and loyalty.
Yes, we're lucky to have the people we do.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, I will let you crack on with running your business and less chat me, but stay well, and I hope the business comes out of this even stronger than it has been the last few years. And keep up the good work, Stephen.
Chris, thank you very much for your time. Please send your great team all the very best from me. Stay safe and well. Speak to you soon.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.